Oh, it's starting. Donnelly's not here.
Yeah, he's less prepared than the rest of us, which is very unusual. Brothers and sisters, welcome to Penn Sunday School, starring Penn Gillette. My name is Michael Goudeau. Matt Donnelly, Penn, and I are broadcasting from Show Creator Studios South in Las Vegas. On today's show, we'll be talking about groats, elves, groats, the reviews of Magic Gone Wrong, groats, a little more on Penn Friends, and groats, groats, and groats.
Groats and more groats.
Here he is preaching groats, Mr. Penn Gillette.
Love and groats are the same.
Love and groats.
Love and groats are the same. So, Mr. Goudeau, there's so much to catch up on.
Groats.
I am just back from London.
Yes,
I was only there for a couple days, man.
How did that happen?
We finished up Penn Friends, which we didn't actually finish up. Martin Luther King weekend. What's the Saturday and Sunday? The 18th and 19th?
Yeah.
Yeah. 18th and 19th, we are coming back to the Penn and Teller Theater to do Penn and Friends.
Nice.
You know, we expected, I can't tell you, very rarely in life do you plan something and have more success than you expected.
Yes.
But I was terrified about doing Penn and Friends over the holidays. We did 14 shows.
Yeah.
Some with Matt Donnelly, some with Piff, all with Mac King.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really nervous. I was crazy nervous.
Yeah. I worked with a partner for many years, and the first shows without him there were scary.
Jesus. And I thought, Robbie, who works on our crew, asked me what I would consider success.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, 400 people a night.
Yeah.
And no major complaints afterwards. Not many major complaints afterwards. Well, Glenn ran it so smart because every person who came to the show was told 6 times minimum, that this was not a Penn and Teller show, that Teller would not be there, and that they were welcome to get their money back instantly.
Right.
They were welcome to do that. And we would get like one a night, which I completely understand. If you decided to see Penn and Teller's not going to be there, you're not seeing Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
But we get like one a night. And 6 times. Everybody was told 6 times. Because the one thing I did not want, and Glenn didn't want, was to misrepresent this.
Of course.
I didn't want anybody to sit there and go, wait a minute, what?
Where's Teller?
Yeah. So 6 times they were told, to the point that they were saying, shut up, when they were sitting down, just shut up. We were averaging like 1,100 people a night.
That's great.
So almost 3 times what I would consider success. And people loved it. The major complaint we got was that there were no Penn and Friends t-shirts.
That's a good complaint to have.
That's a good complaint to have, yeah. Good complaint. And so we're going to be really brave and try it Martin Luther King weekend, which is next weekend.
Yeah.
Next Saturday and Sunday, the 18th and 19th, we'll be doing Penn and Friends with the Matt Donnelly and Mac King at the Penn and Teller Theater. You can go to the Penn and Teller website, PENNANDTELLER.com, and it'll take you right to where you can buy tickets, which says you're buying Penn and Teller tickets, but you'll be told 6 times that it's not Penn and Teller. It was really fun to do it because we were turning into, by the end, the Rat Pack.
Of course.
I mean,
that's so much fun to do.
Yeah. We were on stage during each other's shows.
Yeah.
All the time. While I was doing broken bottle juggling, Mac King was coming out of the cloak of invisibility and just standing there to watch it from a different angle. He always liked the bit. He wanted to see it up close.
Sure.
So I had a guy standing next to me, just standing there, wearing a poncho, thinking he was invisible.
Yeah.
And it was very, very funny. I came out in the cloak of invisibility. We both came out during Piff's act. If he got someone in the audience that was acting crazy, Mac and I would walk out and go, what's going on? It was just really wicked fun. It's a really, really fun show. So we're doing it the 18th.
That's always a great format to be in. Also.
Yeah.
Just, playing with your friends.
Yeah. And, a lot of times, Delaney, Bonnie, and Friends, I think there were a lot of people they hated on that show. But this is actually Friends, as you know.
Yes, yeah.
You know how close I am to Mac.
Of course.
And Matt Donnelly and Piff. Piff, they're all my closest friends.
Yeah.
And I was doing a lot of juggling because they were doing so much magic.
They're magicians.
Yeah.
And you're a juggler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of juggling. We had a great time. And we'll be changing the ending this time. We'll do Love Ritual instead of the Christmas themed one. We thought that doing a Martin Luther King themed poem magic trick would be disrespectful.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'm just going to let you go with that. I'm not even going to jump in on any smarty-ass comments. No. Just shut up.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, good choice.
Well done, my friend.
Yeah, so we're going to do a magic trick.
My babies are growing up.
Different magic trick. And then while we were doing Penn and Friends, you were doing your harebrained scheme.
I was doing, yes, North Pole's Got Talent up in Williams, Arizona.
And how'd that go?
Really just perfectly mediocrely. No, we made our money back, pretty close to making our money back, which was, that's pretty good.
Well, let me just tell you something about business, Goudeau.
Yeah, I can make it up in volume.
You're not supposed to make your money back. You're supposed to make a profit.
Right, but the things that I learned, I believe, will be very, very valuable, and I believe it's a viable option to do the show there during the summertime, if provided, of course, it's not North Pole's Got Talent. But the foot traffic and stuff in the town during the summertime, I believe, would make it very possible to do a very successful show.
So tell me about how the show was. What was it like?
Well, we talked a little bit about what the show was itself. It's me doing parts of my act in an elf costume.
You wore an elf costume.
I wore an elf costume.
Now, where'd you get the elf costume?
Oh, online. Where else would a person buy it? Santa, I guess. I could have got it from Santa. I just bought one online that I liked. Yeah, I had to get one that looked pretty good.
Curly-toed shoes?
I did not have curly-toed shoes. I wasn't totally into the curly-toed shoe thing. I had black fuzzy, slipper shoes. And in fact, I brought them home and I wear them now every evening when I go to sit and watch movies in my home.
Yeah. I went through a slipper phase.
Yeah. These are they're like Ugg boots, except they're black fuzzy.
I see.
Yeah.
And was it green elf costume?
It was green and red and white stripes and little points. Yeah.
Were you wearing tights?
I was wearing, no, I had on basically pajama bottoms. But the great part about the costume is if you take off the elf tunic on the top, it's a perfect Smee costume, too, if you needed to do Peter Pan.
I see. So you're covered.
I was covered. I was covered for Peter Pan or any elf show that might come up. Great part was a lot of Congregationalists came in.
Now, who was on the bill with you?
Jacob Jacks, magician, and Vinny Grosso did part of the time with us as well.
Oh, sometimes it was three, sometimes two?
Sometimes two of us, yeah.
And what did Vinny do for his act?
Magic-y things. A rope trick, a trick with a prediction trick, with a lottery card, things like that.
Was he good?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Vinny did great. He had never done, he was not prepared for it really being a family show. Vinny doesn't do that type of show. And so I think it was more of a learning experience for him than he had expected, but he picked it up and was great.
You had a lot of children?
We had a lot of children in there, yeah.
Now, how big was the theater?
It would hold probably 100 people the way we had it set up. And I think our biggest night was probably 50, 55 people. Mm-hmm. We did a couple of shows where we did a show for one Congregationalist who came on one of the daytime shows early on in the run before we got anything going. And he sat and watched the show. We did a show for one guy.
One person.
One guy.
Wow.
And a Congregationalist, a fan of someone who really was happy to be there and enjoy the show.
Well, there's this art project that's done in one of those Scandinavian countries we don't care about, but Trump loves.
Yeah.
And, one of those Katrina countries.
Yeah.
And people are tall and Nordic. And they were doing, and I only watched one of these, but I keep thinking I'm going to watch more. They did movies of single people enjoying group events. So they had one person at an amusement park, by themselves, alone, and one person going to a restaurant, full restaurant, one person, and they had a person going to a Bob Dylan show alone.
Wow,
which is the one, needless to say, I watched. Yeah. It was amazing. They found a fan. And they did a cheat on it because Bob was doing a sound check.
Yeah.
And the guy talked about how much he loved Dylan. And there he was in the theater, one person. And Bob did about, not a full show, but like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was because Bob was for one person. Bob didn't do his regular show, which kind of violates the concept a little bit. But Bob did, sound check stuff, like Buddy Holly tunes. And the guy sat there and talked about how he didn't know whether to applaud or not.
Yeah.
And Bob looking him in the eye and going, thank you.
This poor fella experienced that, except with elves.
Yeah.
And he enjoyed the show. And this is one of the great things about...
And he was alone, too.
He was alone.
Okay.
He was an elk hunter who was up there
Boy,
in Arizona.
One letter off, that could have been horrible. If he thought he was an elf hunter.
Yeah, I know. It was close. Yeah, we checked his gun at the door. There was a sign on the theater that said no guns allowed out front because it is a hunting town.
Oh,
People do hunt a lot. And he came and, he understandably nervous. Wait, I'm the only person at the show? And we said, yep, you're the only one at the show. You're going to enjoy it. And it's really fun to do a show for one person like that. There's just some crazy thing that snaps in that you think, this is great.
Now, you do audience participation.
I do. So yeah, he was up for 4 or 5 tricks. It was great. It was great. And one of the great things about our listeners, we have a guy who's a listener who was an elk hunter. They're hunting elk and came and sat the show, watched the show himself. That evening, we had a group of 6 who were all vegan and who brought vegan dinner for us. So it's the heartwarming nature of our the people who listen to our shows are great.
That's fabulous.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah,
totally loved it. And ended up costing me what I $200 or $300 to work really hard for 3 weeks in a very cold theater. And I had a car problem at one point. My car overheated, so I had to, I was at a campground. I took my car apart at a campground and repaired the car. And then drove into town to see if it was working. When I got to town, I opened the hood to look inside, and there was a mouse inside the hood looking up at me going, oh, geez Louise. And then he hopped back into the motor, and I couldn't find him, so I closed it up, and I drove back to the campground. When I opened the hood back at the campground, he hopped out and ran back to where he was staying.
You just took a ride?
Took a little adventure, a little mousy adventure. It was very cold. It was 4 degrees one morning. I was staying in a little cabin with a little plug-in heater, and I woke up and went, oh my God, the heater must have died. It is below freezing in here. It is awful freezing. And like I said, I got up and discovered, no, it was working fine. It was just 4 degrees. And so it heating the room up 25 degrees just didn't matter that much. But I learned a lot of really cool stuff. One of the things that I learned, and this, as a vegan, you'll appreciate this. This is an astonishing thing. Everywhere I drove, I was there for 3 weeks driving around. And there are, like I said, elk and elk hunters. And every now and then you'd see a dead elk on the side of the road, but never saw a live elk. And then one afternoon I decided I would drive to the Grand Canyon, which was only 50 miles from where I was. I drove to the Grand Canyon, paid the entrance fee to go into the park, and 30 feet later, there were hundreds of elk standing around.
Well, they know that you can't hunt.
They have a sense of what the borders are.
Yeah.
Which is, why would an elk know what that's really smart. That's much smarter than I would expect from an elk.
Elk, like all those animals, are so much bigger than we think they are.
Yeah, one time when I was a kid, I went with my family out looking for elk up in Washington, hiking around looking for elk, and didn't see any elk. And then later that afternoon, went to a museum where they had a stuffed elk, and I realized I was just walking under them. I thought they were trees.
They're big.
They are huge.
And moose, Jesus.
Even bigger. Hard to believe that there are bigger animals than elk. But
we saw a moose in Newfoundland.
I bet.
It was amazing.
They are very great.
So I got to mention this again. The Health Span Solution.
Yes.
Health Span Solution. You're reading it too.
I am.
By Raymond J. Cronice. Remember when he was Cray Ray?
Yeah.
Now he's Raymond J. Cronice. Raymond.
We're going to call him Raymond from now on.
Raymond J. Cronice and Juliana
Hever,
who I want to call Heavers. Juliana Heavers, but Hever. Health Span Solution. Emily, my lovely wife, has been cooking.
I know.
Like every night from that book. And the food is really good and really healthful.
I don't have a copy of it yet, and I really need a copy of those recipes.
They're really good.
I'm going to have to buy it.
And, I'm also in love with How Not to Diet.
Yeah.
I know this Dr. Michael Greger.
Yeah.
I just went to his website, which is nutritionfacts.org.
Yeah.
He's a nut.
His videos are fantastic.
He's been on New York Times bestseller list bunches of times. He doesn't take any money. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know.
It all goes to charity, every penny. He's a fucking nut.
Is he Batman?
He's Batman. But then his organization is run by donations. So I went the largest donation you could give. That's not true. You could write in a bigger one. But the largest donation that has an easy click, I gave him because he's been so great. And I have discovered.
So now today he is on that website changing that number. As we speak.
If he listens, he's changing that number. He's going, we need to get the bigger number in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I am just, I'm in love with him. He's the greatest guy in the world. We're writing emails back and forth.
When's he coming on the show?
He's coming on the show in September.
Oh, fantastic.
Because he's doing a, Jesus Christ, 11-month book tour that ends in Las Vegas.
Wow. So he'll be exhausted by the time he gets here.
Yeah, and he will not want to answer any questions about the book,
None.
which is good. We can talk about something else.
Groats.
We'll talk about elf suits. No, Groats, I got to tell you, Groats, I've decided, I'm afraid to say this because, Cray Ray says you don't make announcements like this. But when I said to, I call him Dr. G.
Right.
Dr. Greger. When I said to Dr. Greger, I wish his name was Gregor Samson. I wanted him to be like from Metamorphosis, turn himself into an insect, the Kafka book. Mm-hmm. But it's Gregor, not Gregor.
Okay.
Dr. Greger. Dr. G, I wrote to him in an email. I said, my weight is up a lot. Which actually, I already brought it down 10 pounds, but it was up to my highest since losing my weight. And I said, Cray Ray was happy with me at 225. And I said, then Clapper, Dr. Clapper, really said, you should be really 218.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with you at 218. And I said, that just seems crazy to me. And Greger wrote back, that is crazy. You should be 198. 198. He wants me to break 200. He's also
trying to kill you.
So I'm now doing what you do, what you used to do, which I didn't do. I weigh myself twice a day.
Yeah.
Which
I like that.
Gives you a funny chart.
It's really interesting.
How much variation do you have from morning to night?
Sometimes 2 pounds.
2?
Yeah.
You know what I have?
Crazy, no.
7.
Really?
I have 10.
Your wife
What's that?
I have 10.
10 pounds?
Your wife's cooking for you.
Yeah. 10-pound variation from night to morning, yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
And I am drinking hyacinth tea now to try to get my blood pressure down. Okay. I've already got my blood pressure down like 15 points. I am eating beets. And I have discovered, I don't get credit for discovering this. I believe it was 10,000 years ago, but I, for myself, have discovered groats.
You will have to explain groats.
Okay. Now, when you take the oat, okay,
yeah,
and you pulverize it,
yeah, grind it,
all the fiber,
yeah,
and then make it into flakes, fake flakes, you've got instant oatmeal.
Yes.
Now, if you take that and roll it out, then you've got rolled oats.
Yes.
If you don't roll it out, but you just leave it whole, kind of, sort of, with just the hull taken off and chop it up, then you've got steel cut.
Yeah.
You probably eat steel cut.
I eat steel cut.
Right. There's another level. That other level is groats. And groats used to be a word just for oats, like an Irish word for oats, because they put G in front of everything. Mm-hmm. They're called the Gyrish. And
the fighting Gyrish.
The
Guyton Gyrish.
The Guyton Gyrish.
Gefighten Gyrish.
The Gefighten Gyrish. And, but the oats are, groat was just for oats at first, and now it means everything. So you can have, I got purple buckwheat groats, I got oat groats, and I've got other kinds of groats. He mixes them all together. You put them in a instant
pressure
pot.
Cooker, yeah.
Instant pot.
Yeah.
20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And you get it's like a bowl of nuts. You know how oatmeal feels really, really substantial, like stick to your ribs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this is that times 10.
Okay.
Okay, and
Does it have a better texture? Because that's the issue for me for any kind of rolled oats. I like steel cut because it does have some texture.
oh, this has huge texture.
Well, I'm going to love it then.
Yeah, so it's all texture and nutty flavor, right?
Sounds
and
delicious.
the difference is, see, here's the thing. It's where your things are digested, right? When you eat like white flour and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You it's all digested in your stomach.
Yeah.
So the critters that live in your intestines don't get fed.
Right.
But groats are so hard to break down, your stomach doesn't do jack shit. And so you have this full feeling 12 hours later. You eat groats and they stay with you.
Nice.
They don't stick to your ribs, they stick to your whole fucking body. So I have, you know, the big containers of blueberries?
Yeah.
I have a bunch of groats bigger than my fist.
Okay.
Then I put some, I'm going to change from almond milk to soy milk because it's better for the bees. But I now use almond milk. Put that on it. And then I put on, you know, the big containers of blueberries?
Yeah.
An entire one of those. And you know the big containers of pomegranates?
Yeah.
Entire one of those. Okay.
And you're eating them with the arils and all, the whole seed, everything.
No. Well, I mean, for pomegranates?
Yeah.
No. I mean, just what they give you. What they give you when it's all prepared for you.
All right.
Just eat it. Okay. But the groats are just wild groats. And then I put all that in the microwave because I like my blueberries and pomegranates hot.
Yeah.
So I have hot blueberries, pomegranates, and almond milk over groats. And I eat that and I am full like for the rest of my life. It's really easy to go 23 hours before eating it. That's my dessert now, groats. And it's brought my blood pressure down. It's made everything feel great.
All right. I'll order some groats.
I'll tell you.
Done here.
Also, I'll tell you, I'm going to warn you right now. Hard to get to the groats. When you buy them, they don't come like other stuff in fancy boxes with like pictures of, you know, leprechauns on it. They come in like white tubs like grout. Grout and groats. I mean,
So make sure you're clicking the right button.
right.
You could have been eating grout because grout is very filling.
You know, number 10 cans like they have at restaurants.
Yeah.
that have
Yeah,
like
yeah,
potato
big
sticks.
can, yeah.
yeah, that's where they come in. And we had like a can opener, open it and top, and they come in sacks. It's like bulk food. I mean, this is
Nobody's marketing small amounts of groats, huh?
this is too crazy a food for Whole Foods to have. You got to like buy it online.
All right.
Speaking of
Buying online.
buying online, you can get. Is there something that interferes with your happiness or is preventing you from achieving your goals?
No.
I mean, besides me. BetterHelp online counseling is there for you. Connect with your professional counselor in a safe and private online environment. It's so convenient. You can now get help in your own time at your own pace. You can schedule secure video or phone sessions plus chat and text with your therapist. I told you I did this.
You're doing this.
I'm
I
doing
know.
it. Yeah, I'm liking it. Licensed professional counselors who are specialized in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBT matters, grief, and self-esteem.
They're specialized in handling people who have those conditions. Not that they have them themselves.
Right, exactly. Or they might.
Maybe they
might,
do.
But they know how to handle them. Anything you share is confidential. It's a really, really good thing. You should check it out. If you're not happy with your counselor, I was very happy with my counselor. You can change to a new one. 3,000 licensed therapists in all 50 states. 4 communication modes: text, chat, phone, and video. Secure, convenient, professional, affordable. It's a nice way to work on your problems. Get better. Get happier. Best of all, it's truly affordable. Penn Sunday School listeners get 10% off your first month with discount code
Penn.
So why not get started today? Go to betterhelp.com/Penn. Simply fill out a questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor you love. That's betterhelp.com/
I am groat.
No, Penn. Penn/Penn. Okay, we know the most useful app on my phone that I use all the time for driving.
Yes.
After a while, you listen to enough music. I drive home from the theater after doing Penn and Friends or doing Penn and Teller, which I'll be doing back. By the way, if you're holding out for Penn and Teller, February 1st will be our first show. Okay. February 1st is the first show with Penn and Teller back at the Penn and Teller Theater. Penn and Friends, the 18th and 19th. When I drive home, I listen to Blinkist.
Yeah, that's what you've been saying.
Blinkist is really good. 20 minutes summing up a book, and it ends up being everything you'd remember from that book.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. You know what I mean? You have to accept the fact that what you remember from a book is about 20 minutes. And they do a
And the joy.
really good job.
Yeah.
They do a really good job at pulling out the good stuff. Successful people like business leaders are well known for reading lots of books. Blinkist is made for busy people like you who want to get the main points of a book quickly so you can start using that information right away. And with its audio feature, Blinkist makes it easy to finish a book during a commute, on your lunch break, or while you exercise. It's so good for all that. I just use it on the commute, but you could use it on any of those. It'd be really good. I love it because there's a lot of books and I want to know the stuff in it, but they're not books that I'm ever going to read.
Sure.
I want to read them, but I'm not going to. So I accept the fact that I'm not going to read the whole book. You know, like Malcolm Gladwell's new book. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not going to read the whole book. I want the Blinkist on it. They got great stuff. Upheaval, Turning Points for Nations in Crisis by Jared Diamond. I'm going to listen to that. Yeah. I love Jared Diamond. I'm not going to read the book. Outgrowing God, Richard Dawkins. Well, I did read that.
Probably going to read that, yeah.
Hacking Darwin by Jamie Metzel. Yep. 4-Week Workout by Tim Ferriss. You know, I talked to Tim Ferriss. I like him. I think I might. I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm really going to read the Michelle Obama book, Becoming.
Yeah.
If I'm really going to read it, I'm going to read it. Otherwise, I'll do Blinkist. But I'm going to know the important points from that. Yeah. Right now, for a limited time, Blinkist has a special office just for our audience. Go to Blinkist, BLINKIST.com/Penn. Try it free for 7 days and save 25% off your new subscription. That's Blinkist, BLINKIST, Blinkist.com/Penn to start your free 7-day trial. And you'll also save 20% off, but only when you sign up at Blinkist.com/Penn. You're going to like this. You're going to like Blinkist a lot. So groats and everything. I'm loving
can't wait
it.
to try groats.
You know what else he told me? No. You know what else? This is a mind-blowing thing. I've already told you this off air, so you're going to pretend you don't know it.
All right.
What is the one fruit juice that is better for you than the whole fruit?
Why, I have no idea, Mr.
Tomato.
Tomato!
You know what? And he also says Tabasco's okay. Has a little bit of salt in it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Now, he just wrote me an email right before I got on, Dr. Greger from nutritionfacts.org. And I said, you can use as much Tabasco as you want. Even though it has salt in it, you wouldn't use enough to be in trouble. And he wrote back to me saying, my answer to everybody on this is all the Tabasco you want. But I think you might be an outlier on this. Are you one of those nuts that buys the gallon container with the pump on it? I said, well, yes, as a matter of fact, I do have one. He said, how much Tabasco do you actually put on into like tomato juice? I was afraid to tell him.
It's a shot, right? Just like alcohol.
Probably a shot. Probably a full shot glass of Tabasco goes into a glass of tomato juice. I like things hotter than you, right?
Yeah.
Because when I go to
spicy, but you're still.
When I go to an Indian restaurant, they say 1 to 10. I say 10. Do you say 10 too, Eddie?
Yes.
Yeah. And so Indian food, Mexican food, I'm always.
I would
10.
never do that in an Indian restaurant because I would assume they took that as a challenge.
I've had that happen, and I have accepted the challenge and enjoyed it.
I've sat and cried through a few meals. So.
I know it's not. You like it real hot, right, Reddy?
I do.
Really hot, really hot.
No, I have been sitting and sweating and crying and trying to finish my meal before, so I don't order 10.
So I've got to tell you,
okay.
I've got to tell you, Health Span Solution by Raymond J. Cronice. That makes me laugh so much.
Yes.
Cray-Ray. And Juliana
Heavers.
And How Not to Diet by Dr. Michael Greger. These books are life-changing. So I don't know. I would like to get you got hot sauce with you now. What do you got? You got hot sauces that don't have salt in them?
No additives.
What does that mean?
It's just the pepper.
Just the pepper, nothing else.
No vinegar?
No.
Wow.
Is it good?
Yeah. The last dab from Heatnist. I gave you a bit. Did you have it with your meal?
Yeah, it was hot. Here
I gotta
comes
get the door.
Here comes Matt Donnelly. Matt Donnelly. So far, the discussion has been groats, hot sauce, and Goudeau's elf costume.
We can't hear you.
Get over there. Okay, look at him jump into place.
I could have had a second, but I guess not. Hello.
Your mic's not on, man.
Oh, man.
Are you getting in the cans?
No, I don't hear
Okay.
it.
Well, he'll work on that. Anyway, I want to talk to me about this. So,
All right.
last Saturday night, I do Penn and Friends. No, not last Saturday. Saturday, January 4th,
Okay.
I do Penn and Friends. And then on the 5th, I fly to London. I woke up sneezing like a freak and my nose really stuffed up and feeling really, really sick. Now, I went online and tried to tell allergies from a cold. How do you tell that?
I don't know how to tell allergies from cold. I don't think you can.
I don't think you can either.
I don't.
Can you talk yet, Matt?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can. You're there now.
Oh, I am? Okay.
But I flew to London feeling really sick and then got there and then was sleeping 15 hours a night.
Did you have your nasal washer thing?
Yeah.
Still didn't help, huh?
No.
Yeah.
But I also took sleep aids. I took Benadryl,
Okay.
which
Well,
is
I thought you caught sleep aids, and I was
No, I
really
didn't.
worried.
so I had this wicked bad cold and then went over and saw Magic Goes Wrong. You know, we've been working on this project for a couple of years now,
Yeah.
and it opened at the Vaudeville Theater. We have broken
And it opened to fantastic reviews. Let's just mention that.
we have broken every box office record that the
Really?
Vaudeville Theater has ever had. It's sold out a lot. If you are in London between now and I believe they've announced through the end of May,
Yeah.
but it's going longer than that.
Clearly, it's selling
the
it.
Sun says magical mischief. Magic goes wrong, but it'll have you spellbound for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Gave you a very, very nice review.
Yeah, we got some 5-star
I've
reviews.
seldom been to the theater and laughed so much while seeing bungled magic performed.
It's bungled magic. And a person, I got this on Twitter, a person who saw Magic Goes Wrong, this is something I didn't expect, said the water tank trick that's in Magic Goes Wrong that they do. I'd never seen anything like that. Where did they get that idea? No idea it was a Penn and Teller trick.
Oh, interesting.
No idea.
Never seen anything like it.
Yeah, just thought it was really clever and well done. Now, they do a different version. We wrote a different version for the show.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's the same beats. It's all the same beats, just a different character from me, different character from Teller.
Right.
We got water tank, sawing in half, and hand stab from the Penn and Teller show. There are versions of that in there.
Yeah.
And the guys are so goddamn funny. It's just insane. And you want to talk about a heavenly experience. On opening night, I was sitting there. I had a nice aisle seat, right there to see the opening night of a show I've been working on for 2 years with these geniuses. And I'm sitting, but I'm not aware of the world around me. You know that.
Right.
I'm looking at my phone, and Glenn is up in the box, right?
Right.
And he can see me in what they call the stalls, which we would call over here the orchestra. And he texts me, Stephen Fry is behind you. So Stephen Fry is also in his own world.
Right.
So I turn directly around, and I am 2 feet from Stephen Fry's face, looking at him, smiling. And he probably takes 2 minutes to look up from his phone and see me. And then I got to talk about I love Stephen Fry. First of all, I'm a huge fan of his.
Right.
Right. And second of all, he's a very good friend. And I've known him for years, but I don't get to see him very often.
Third of all, you almost forgot his name on Jeopardy.
Shut up. I didn't almost forget his name on Jeopardy. I did forget his name on Jeopardy.
I thought you pulled it out at the end.
I did. I guess I did at the end.
Yeah.
Game show thing is a weird pressure.
Yeah. And
I play
buzzed
on
in.
friends' names all the time.
I
It's not
buzzed in
on
right
television.
away. Said, this is easy. My good friend, God So I then talked to Stephen Fry for the whole pre-show, which is really nice. And then I'm working on a sneeze, just so you know, if my face looks funny, that's what I'm doing.
Oh, I thought you were getting emotional.
No.
Stephen Fry was on my show.
And then I get to sit directly, and Stephen Fry, his husband, was under the weather. So he was sitting alone, and I was sitting alone. He was directly behind me. And I had Stephen Fry guffawing. It's the only word for it. Guffawing into the back of my head for the full 2 hours.
That
Fantastic.
is as high a compliment as you can get.
Screaming.
Well,
As a matter of fact,
he wrote nice things about the show as
he
well.
put on Twitter that he was hoarse from laughing. He was laughing hard. And he also, his husband, it was just like the flu or something. I mean, it was just a virus. It's not like it's some long-term thing, but his husband was very sick. Yeah. And so he got his mind off that, and he was just laughing his ass off. He loves Mischief Theater, and he likes us, and the two together, it was just great. We were getting, and this is probably the happiest moment of my life, in the big paper over there.
They're all great reviews.
London Times. Yeah, Sun loved it.
Daily Mail.
Yeah.
But I think it was the London Times.
Okay.
They had the picks for the weekend. Pick for the weekend. Top 2 shows you should see on the West End in London. Okay, the top 2 shows out of all the shows there. Magic Goes Wrong, with a little description that says Penn and Teller brought magic to one of the best shows you'll ever see. Right below it, Girl from the North Country. Bob Dylan's writing it. So there, your 2 choices to see in London, as far as I could tell, were Penn Jillette and Bob Dylan.
And Penn was at both.
Was that?
You were at both, right?
I also
their review says this magic show is a delightful debacle. So there you go.
Yeah.
They liked it too. The Times liked it too. And as if to prove why and how successful it is, the police, they noticed a suspicious package at the Strand, which is the theater.
This happened last night, man.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this?
No.
You're going to love this.
Pretty great.
There is this alley that we call affectionately Piss Alley. One of these Victorian, it's about 4 feet wide, going the whole length of the block. And it's the way we go from the front of the theater to the stage door. And also the way someone could have to sneak from the front of the theater to the back of the theater if they were doing a magic trick.
In case it's a good magic alley as well.
Yeah,
Piss alley and magic alley.
Piss Alley, Magic Alley, equal.
Yeah.
And therefore, with basic algebra, magic is piss.
Yeah.
Saturday night show, been sold out for a long time, right after opening to rave reviews. Magic Goes Wrong, Mischief Theater's backstage. And somebody, not anybody affiliated with the theater, noticed in the alley, in Piss Alley, a large package with wires coming out of it.
Ooh.
And this concerned citizen called the police. Now, I got to tell you, the Mischief Boys wrote me emails about this and said that, boy, the British police were good. They had a bomb squad, police, and an ambulance there instantly. And then they told, you see, Magic Goes Wrong, right? A delightful debacle. You've read the reviews. And so right before the show's set to start, policeman goes on stage and says, sorry, we have to evacuate the theater, and gets huge laughs. Kills. And goes, no, really, we have to evacuate the theater, and gets applause. Sustained applause. Like this is the hippest thing we've ever seen in our lives. And then goes, no, really evacuate. And the whole audience goes like, oh. I mean, it's funny that it's 3 times. It's like
It's just, just persistence. There's no other key, no other trick to it.
The police have confirmed a package found in the Strand, which sparked the evacuation of nearby restaurants and a theater, is not suspicious.
It's still suspicious. That's the wrong use of the word.
They have confirmed it is not suspicious.
It's still suspicious.
They were
It's
alerted
not
to a
dangerous.
suspicious package and shut down the Strand, and then have decided it is here's the exact wording. Police have confirmed a package found in the Strand, which has sparked the evacuation, is not suspicious.
It is suspicious.
Not suspicious.
It is your mom and pop bag of wires. It's just, just your regular ho-hum
Nothing suspicious about that
But here's the great
funny
thing.
looking bag.
London box of wires.
Henry Shields,
Yeah.
okay, is wearing a full tux, actually wearing Johnny Thompson's great Thompsoni outfit.
Yeah.
A red sash, a full tux, and a top hat. And they evacuate him. They evacuate the Blade, who's playing this kind of danger magician, who's wearing a black, kind of silly Chris Angel type
Leather, a
wig.
lot of belt buckles.
Yeah.
Sure.
And ripping his shirt open, right?
Yeah.
They just get sent out on the street.
And then the police report suspicious looking characters. And even more police.
So they're out there in January in London in their outfits. And this is the thing about Mischief Theater. They have 4 successful shows running in the West End. Okay?
Yeah.
4 successful shows. So what they do, they go to the play that goes wrong just down the street and go backstage and hang out there.
Just hide there.
And then, of course, the audience couldn't be gotten back.
Right.
So when they found out the suspicious package was not
Not
dangerous.
suspicious.
Suspicious, but not dangerous.
No. Not suspicious.
So, no, it's still suspicious.
Police, these police are involved.
Police said whoever thought
said
this
not-
box was suspicious is an idiot.
Stupid. If you look, the wires are shaped like Mickey Mouse's ears. Not suspicious.
I was doing pre-show at the PIF show, and the fire alarm started going off, which I always think is the funniest thing. A fire alarm makes no one scared at all.
Right.
Fire
It's like a
goes off-
car alarm.
Yeah.
No one cares they're stealing your car. No one cares they're stealing your car. Yeah.
And I kind of look at the ushers look at me, and there's no sense of urgency or even a sense of procedure on how to investigate whether or not this is legitimate or not, and whether we should evacuate a packed theater or not. And then the house manager goes to me and says, "Jade says just tell everybody, don't worry, it's not a real fire alarm, and as soon as it stops, we'll start the show." And I said, "Do we know that?"
Jade says it's really...
I'm really not about
Yeah.
to just announce that if we don't know. Because announcing that and being wrong is way worse than saying nothing.
Yeah. You get reprimanded.
I absolutely get
You were
reprimanded.
yelling. You
Donley been
you were
the last few
yelling
weeks?
theater in a crowded fire. You could be yelling theater in a crowd. We're going to have theater. And there's a fire going on. Yelling theater in a crowded fire is worse than yelling fire in a crowded theater.
Not suspicious, though.
So was it? It was not nothing.
It was nothing. Yeah.
Not nothing.
But did Jade know that when she said it?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I did not investigate.
We all know Jade very well.
Yes.
And we know that it's very possible that Jade would say
Yeah.
there was no danger when there was danger.
Yes. I believe that's a
I
big
believe
case.
that Jade does not have a fear gene.
I don't think so at all.
No. When we told her she was going out on stage to do a full split,
Yeah.
her full weight, her primary sex organ hitting the stage at great velocity.
Right.
So we said to her, who said this to her? Bert, our stage manager,
Yeah.
Robbie,
Yeah.
in charge of the crew, me. I don't know if Piff would care at all, but the 3 of us said, Jade, you're going out to do your split right after Penda's broken bottle juggling.
Yeah.
He is smashing 3 bottles all on stage, and little pieces of glass fly all over, sometimes pieces the size of a quarter, with jagged edges. There's nothing at all rigged on the broken bottle juggling. It is exactly what it looks like. I'm smashing liquor bottles and juggling the necks of them. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And Jade said, no problem. And I said, Jade, if you come down that fast with your legs, etc.,
Yes.
onto a piece of quarter-sized jagged glass, it's going to hurt you.
It is a problem. It is indeed not a problem.
Yeah. And she said, I can see. I said, we're not we're not questioning your eyesight, but you can't see a little piece of glass that flies out when I'm juggling and sits there right in your spot. She said, I'm watching from backstage. I said, Jade. So she went out every single, we did 14 shows.
Yeah.
You did 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Jade did 12 of them.
Yeah.
Jade and Piff did 12 of them. She went out and did 12 splits.
Yeah.
And 3 nights, there was a jagged piece of glass close to where she did her split.
Which she must have seen because she can see.
She can see.
Yeah.
So Jade, fire alarm.
Exactly.
When you're doing a split on broken glass,
Yeah.
fire alarm don't mean jack.
We were doing a show in DeKalb, Illinois, old theater, and 3/4 of the way through Piff's set, a bat descends.
Oh, yes. Piff talked about this.
Yes, a bat descends.
And she went and caught the bat.
Yeah. Everyone else is freaking out, and Jay just walks towards the bat. Towards it. And from my vantage point, I'm doing tech off to the stage left. So I only see Piff and Jade stop and look at the bat, and I only hear the shouting of the audience. The bat comes into particular sections of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I see Jade just leave, and then she's just gone from my sight.
It was a popcorn container, right?
And then returns 5 minutes later with a popcorn container with a bat in it and walks towards me. It was the strangest sight.
Well, I guess we
about it
didn't
before.
explain this. Miss Jade Simone
Yeah.
is the showgirl in Piff's act.
Yes.
And we all know Jade very well, but I have not seen her to ever exhibit any amount of fear at all.
None.
Just, she goes, grabs a bat, puts her crotch on broken glass,
Yeah.
fire alarms, nothing.
No.
Nothing.
So this is just to prove that when she said, tell everyone not to worry about it, I didn't just take her at her word.
Exactly. Yeah. There might be broken glass where you're doing your split. Tell them not to worry about it. There's a vampire bat that probably has rabies. Nothing to worry about. Iron Jade.
Iron Jade from now on.
Anyway,
We're
get a lot.
doing more of these Piff and Friends now you're talking about it.
We are.
Yeah.
We talked about it already.
Oh, good.
But we're going to go do it the 18th and 19th
Yeah.
at the Penn and Teller Theater.
Yeah.
If you want to see Matt Donnelly, the Mind Noodler, and you want to see Mac King, and you want to see Penn Jillette, there's a show called Penn and Friends. And you had fun doing it, the 2 shows you did it.
Oh, it's awesome. It was so fun to do it.
And the audience loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to play. I'd done Fool Us, but doing your proper theater is a different feeling, and the audience is much closer, and it's a really cool, awesome environment. And I'm on the bill, and people are expecting to see me, which is something I'm not used to. So to me coming out getting a warm reception at the top of my set is like a real treat. It's a real different thing than what I've been doing.
Well, you missed it because you arrived late because you were in Canada, right?
Yes.
Doing a show with Piff last night?
No. I was. This is it's a show that hasn't announced its plans yet, but I was flown out to see a show before it might possibly come here to help on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Performing it?
No,
Oh.
just joke writing and
Oh, cool.
that kind of stuff.
Well,
Consultant work, as they say.
at consulting work.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't
Which,
hear.
P.S. by the way, the company was playing a casino.
Uh-huh.
The company was going to put me up where they were is near Niagara Falls. So there's like a
Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn, step by step, inch by inch. I'm sorry.
I don't know what that's from, but I like.
It's the Three Stooges. It's a standard vaudeville thing.
Oh, okay.
What we do is every time someone says that, he relives his wife leaving him and goes and beats the shit out of the guy who says it. It's something that was done by the Stooges. Do it, but it was done by everybody in vaudeville.
It's an old bit.
Yeah.
And the casino heard that they were flying out a guy who worked with Penn and Teller from Vegas, and so instead of Ubering, they sent a car.
Good.
And then instead of bringing me to the hotel that's attached to the fancy hotel by Niagara Falls, they put me in a suite overlooking
Niagara Falls. Slowly.
They put me in a suite overlooking the falls
So you were having a little honeymoon on your own?
on my own. I was just sending messages to my wife with Niagara Falls over my shoulder. So just working for you just keeps paying dividends, is what I'm saying.
Good. Yeah. Good. That's good. That's the way you should be treated, Matt Donnelly, everywhere you go.
That's what I meant to say.
Penn and Friends.
Penn and
Penn and Friends.
I'm a friend of Penn.
Martin Luther King weekend.
Yes.
The 18th and 19th, which is next weekend. And you can get tickets at the Penn and Teller website if you want to come see us. Mac King, Matt Donnelly, the Mind Noodler, and Penn Jillette all doing a full show in the Penn and Teller Theater. And we should also say at the same time that Teller will be back doing the Penn and Teller show properly on February 1st.
Oh, that's so exciting.
February 1, we'll be doing that.
Are you excited to get back to work at the old Penn and Teller show, or just see the amount of work ahead of you when he comes back, the amount of stuff you have to get in place for Fool Us?
We are doing, Teller just said, by the way, Teller's doing fabulously.
Yeah.
The doctors are working hard to keep him down.
Yeah.
They will not let him do shows until February 1st, and he wants to. But we're following doctor's orders, as he said. But so I've been meeting with him in the afternoons to talk about Fool Us. We have to have, 15 new closers.
Yeah.
So Teller announced the other day there's this great website called like Meet in the Middle or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you put in 2 addresses and it tells you the nearest coffee shop to the absolute.
That's a great app.
So,
That's a great ad.
yeah. Le Petit Cafe. Le Petit Cafe, right off 215 Medical Center there, is halfway between me and Teller. So that is
funny.
now where all the Penn and Teller meetings are, Le Petit Cafe. And the owner, which we met her, she was willing to do something that I'm always embarrassed when Teller asks. But he asks, and she was very nice about it, turned down the music.
Oh,
so we could talk. And Teller said, so we'll come back February 1st, and we'll do the show we were doing in 2019. And then Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday, so we have no show. And then the 3rd, I think we need to come back with all new material. It has to be an entirely different show. And I said, well, I think you're right, because that gives us 3 weeks with the new material before we do Fool Us. So for those who come, if you're coming to Vegas for that weekend, you can come the 1st and the 3rd and see 2 different shows.
That's really exciting.
The Penn and Teller. Yeah.
I bet he can come on the 3rd and the 4th and see 2 different shows.
Or the 4th, the 5th. Yeah, never the same show. Never the same show once. No doubt about that. We got a lot more to talk about. We got to talk about Buck Henry a little bit, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
But we'll do all that on Wednesday because that was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
Cha-cha-cha.
And to our listening
You become naked.
all nature sang and round us rang the music of the sea. That was Penn Sunday
You miss the fact that tomato juice, totally healthful. You get it without salt. Drink all the tomato juice you want with all the Tabasco in it you want.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to do real healthful stuff now. I swam this morning. I'm drinking hibiscus tea. I've dropped
swam
10
this
pounds
morning?
in the past week. Yeah, I'm doing well. 10 days. 10 days to drop 10 pounds. So I'm going to get wicked healthy again.
Check whether the hibiscus thing is part of the sneezing thing.
You think it might be?
There's certain teas that can...
Yeah, but I started the hibiscus after I was sneezing, actually.
Okay.
But it might be groats.
Might be gross.
What are groats again?
Groats are like super oats, super buckwheat, all names like, sorghum.
Are they available at like supermarkets and stuff?
No, you can order them online. It's special like
Big box and split them all.
black market. Yeah.
I'm curious about them.
We'll do, you'll like
I'm in
groats.
on it. I'm in on this groat
Yeah,
thing.
it'll fill you up. You won't want to eat for 20 hours.
Oh, good.
It's good. Anyway, we're done.